Another method you can use to sew your leather together is to punch some holes and to use a lace or a braid to then sew your pieces of leather together. If you are using a slightly thicker lace, for example, this is an example of a flat lace here, you need to make sure that you are punching a hole that's big enough to cope with the lace that is required. You can also create quite decorative patterns using your lace as well, and this can give a really nice finish to the edges of your leatherwork. To prepare your leather so that you know where your holes are going to go, we would start off by scoring a line that is the certain distance from the edge. Now here I've set my dividers at 5mm from the edge, and I have scored a line all the way along, so you should be able to see that there. We then need to mark out the stitches, and we can use the dividers for this as well, and I've been able to then use them to create my marks that are the 5mm apart. So at this end you can see where I've just used the dividers and we've got the mark where we want our holes to go. I haven't got a thick braid, so I'm using a 1.5mm punch for this, but the leather can be quite forgiving, but when you are punching you want to make sure that the dot you have made sits in the middle of the hole that you're about to use with your hole punch. And I tend to sort of cheat a bit and just make a tiny impression, just enough for me to see that I'm in the right place, and then I will punch that through so that I can then work my way along and I've got my holes. If you are using joining two pieces of leather together, you need to make sure that your holes are exactly opposite each other, which is why I would recommend using a paper template and marking everything out on paper first.